Folks, we are live. Welcome to Gamers Health. I am Eric Chenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and with me is none other than my wife, Rach. Woohoo! I'm looking at my face and like, hey, my it's like a shadow from like my beard, yo. It's like it's like I got a jowl going, but I don't really get a jowl going.
No,
But it's
no
it's
jowls for you.
no jowls. I thought I had a jowl. I ain't got no jowl. Sorry. Shadow and Sun, welcome.
Shadow and Sun.
Yeah, so we've got some Arduin coming out next, maybe next week. The maps, which are just too large for me to properly show on this channel. But I'm gonna have to find a way to set them up and take some pictures of them.
You know what? I think probably set them up in the next room on the floor, and then maybe video them, and then you can put it into a video. Like you can.
Yeah. There's a reason why I married this woman. I could tell you, there's many reasons why I married this woman. That is probably one of them. Out of the box, you think out of the box.
Because they couldn't be bigger than yoga mats, and they all fit.
Oh, that's true. That's true. She thinks very wisely. Wisely, I tell you. So, let's see. We're gonna before we delve into tonight's topic, Tammy, welcome.
Tammy.
We are going to go over our, I guess, last week in review. Should have a special like header that comes up on the screen. But then I would actually be professional and organized if I did that. And are we professional and organized?
Right, but I don't know if like our week in review, sometimes it's just bitching about, oh God, we had to do this, we had to see that one, and
yeah, it's like I can't son of a fish. Yeah. old man yells at world. Not calling you old, Rach. Middle-aged
woman. I feel 100 sometimes.
old woman rages at world. We did have some moments like that. So you can't see it right now, but I will tell you right now, Rach is like going, my fucking knee, my fucking knee, my fucking
No,
knee.
it's actually better than it was yesterday. It's yeah.
Which is saying a lot because we went for a walk today.
Yeah.
And we're not, this isn't like bing Ricochet Rabbit. This is more like Hopalong Cassidy.
It is.
Tom, welcome. Oh, he goes.
The norm is usually Ricochet Rabbit, but
yeah.
Now I'm Hopalong.
Tom, whether it's good or not, I say that my fucking knee. I mean, I'm
among good company.
I have some arthritis probably going on in my knee. My right, and by the way, it's also my bad knee is the right knee, but my bad knee and my right knee goes back to like 6th grade and playing chicken in the schoolyard.
Oh, you got an injury then?
I got an injury then.
Oh.
So usually when we played chicken in the schoolyard, I don't know why it's called chicken, but we played it in the 6th grade because the 6th grade play area in the schoolyard was kind of hidden away from the rest of so you could get away with shit you couldn't get away with elsewhere. So chicken was getting
like fighting.
Well, that's
basically fighting, right?
That chicken is basically.
Isn't it you go out in the monkey bars?
No.
And you fight with your feet?
No, we didn't have monkey bars. No, chicken is you'd get somebody on your shoulders, and then you're playing like chicken with like the leg, like I guess I don't know why you called it chicken, but we called it chicken. And usually I was the one with somebody on my shoulders
because it's top heavy,
right? But then
the little legs for the.
I guess so. But in this case, one time I actually got on somebody else's shoulders, not my back, shoulders, and we lost. And when we lost, I fell and I landed on my right knee, and ever since then, my knee could a lot of times predict the weather. So, so I know where some of my history and my knee comes from.
Yeah, traditionally for me, it's been my left knee that has been problematic. I think what happened was that I snapped it in like a yoga class, so the temperature was like warm. It was a summer yoga class, and the pose was basically you're basically kneeling, and then you go all the way back. And I was like, oh wow, I have a lot of flexibility, and I snap. And then at that time it was like a little hard to go up and downstairs, so I know I did something to a ligament there, and then it came back in the same knee like a few years later when I was working closer to home. And when I was like carrying a bunch of packages up the stairs, and then it snapped again. So that was always like sensitive to like weather, and every part of me is sensitive to cold. But lately, like with this right knee, like my left knee's been on its best behavior since righty's been acting out.
Oh.
So that's a good thing. But I'm very happy to have my eyes. So go figure. I'm usually
very
really uncomfortable with too much cold.
I'm very happy my husband doesn't make me walk the half mile of physical therapy, because that would be very bad.
It would be bad.
Because I didn't tell Rach this, but on Wednesday, I had initially until your injury, I had intended to be somewhere on Wednesday, police academy, for the retired sergeants.
I didn't know.
And it specifically said, you may bring no spouses, only people that are retired members of the service may attend. You must present ID, your retired ID, to the uniformed officer at the parking lot.
But you got to sit for 2 hours in a hot parking lot.
I got to sit
rooftop parking lot.
I got to sit and hear foolish me. Now, this was Wednesday. I had the thought of, you know what? Look at me doing this twice a week. Why don't I just use that time and get some walking in myself? And I will walk the parking lot. And I realized it's
like 98 or something.
Yeah, and 98 on the.
It's like a, how do you call it? A blacktop kind of.
Yeah, it's a blacktop
roof.
It's a raised, but I mean, out like a cat in a hot tin roof. I don't think so. By the way, TXG, welcome. Tom says he extended his knees on a camping trip.
Yeah, okay.
And TXG, my knees are fine until I have to kneel down to fix or work on something. Then it feels like gravity has a grudge against me. So, yeah, we could probably do a whole show on these.
I'm lucky enough that I can go to the ground still, and I mean, I think I still like go to the ground to like do certain chores.
Yeah.
But
pick up dog.
And then like getting off like not so bad. To been able to like go on. Like I mean, needs to do like a tabletop. I tried that out at the place. I was like, see, here's where it hurts. When I do this, and they're like, don't do that.
Please don't.
Well, don't do that.
You're causing troubles at physical therapy, right?
No.
No?
No. I'm a superstar. I try really hard there.
I try really hard. And then they hear the crack, and then it's like 50 lashes with the wet noodle. You go back to the beginning, stop pulling that shit. So Rachel's Wednesday was
an evaluation, and then they actually did some of the therapy too. So
then
on Friday was
it was long.
Yeah.
When you're in your car long enough for your ignition to tell you that your car's been on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
What's that thing say? 2 hours? Really?
Yeah, I looked at it as I was walking down the hallway to go out. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit, my hubby gonna be upset. Friday wasn't much shorter.
No,
Friday
it
was
was a little short.
a little short. Friday was another long day. I'm gonna have to start. I was jokingly thinking to myself, I should be putting comic books onto my iPad or graphic. I should say,
Oh yeah.
graphic novels. Sadly, graphic novels. I'm gonna put graphic novels onto my iPad. I'm like, I won't need it. By the time I get that stuff out, she'll be done and ready to get back at the club. And I should have done the graphic novels. I did do a video short yesterday. If you haven't seen it yet, please do. It's a love letter to a troll. It is literally short. I guess that's what shorts are meant to be, right?
Yeah.
Not love letters to trolls, but short. So it effectively did what it effectively should have done.
A quick FU.
A quick gift you where it belongs. So
To a deserving party.
to a deserving party. You know what? I should have just your phone on my phone.
I think that's yours.
That's my phone. So I should have, if I was thinking properly, I took pictures today that I should have uploaded. But I'm going to zoom in a bit and see if you can see these are
yes, our
blackberries. These
blackberries.
are blackberries, or there's a ton of them. They are all, and damn, they are dangerous beasts. So those are the beginning of our blackberries are starting to turn, and they are black when they are ripe. So they're getting there.
Yeah, they were really good last year.
Yeah,
because I got a couple after the birds.
TXG, that getting old shit sucks, but I guess it's better than the alternative. That's right.
Indeed.
I'd rather get old than rot away.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the alternative. Tom, I saw the short and it was choice. Thank you. John, the troll has been a busy boy. Busy boy. Oh no, I've got all this time on my hands since.
What will I ever do?
When you're single with no responsibilities, you get so much time. So here,
said it exactly.
So now, Rach and I, one thing we have never tried to grow before is watermelon.
Oh my God, this thing is so cool.
So I'm not huge on watermelon. I'll eat a little watermelon here or there. People in my family go crazy. My mother's like, wow, it's watermelon. But she will never try to grow it.
I think it's the lecithin in it. Like it helps with like muscle soreness.
So, but we have a watermelon growing. Now we got 6 plants and only 1 watermelon coming. But that is
I thought it was 4 plants.
Oh, you're right. It is 4 plants. 2 on one side, 2 on the side. The 2 on the side, the plants themselves are huge. Huge. Huge, I tell you. But
they're huge.
Huge. That's the watermelon. And our cucumbers are doing extremely well. We've got like 7 or 8 that I can find coming along.
Yeah.
I could make the pickles.
These kind of family, the melon and the cucumbers are doing really good.
Yep.
And everything else is too, but like, I'm like, how long does it take for the zucchinis to come? I want to try making some zucchini recipes.
Yeah, zucchinis are. The plants look good. I don't think we got zucchini coming yet.
No.
The peppers look good.
There's a couple of flowers.
The peppers look good, but the peppers aren't producing yet. However, the peppers inside are producing and still blooming. So those plants are doing amazingly
but they've
well.
Become hybrid sweet hop.
Yeah, well, actually,
which is interesting.
Well, actually, Rach, here
is that how to say it, hybrid?
Well, here's what happened, Rach. Both the pepper plants, both the sweet and the jalapeno, are doing good, but the jalapeno is going like uber crazy and has grown in over to the space, which is the sweet pepper. So what I thought was a sweet pepper, I found out today when I was trimming dead growth off stuff that was a jalapeno. It's a jalapeno.
Oh, I thought you said.
I thought from where it was. I thought from where it was because they look very similar, but no. No,
Oh well.
it was.
Okay.
I made breakfast tacos today. We got
We love them.
we got low carb tacos from Trader Joe. Did I get that right?
Trader Joe's.
I keep on calling it everything else, but so we got low carb tacos from Trader Joe's, and they're small tacos. So, and you know, the whole thing about eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you. We do
The
one
debate
egg,
is still out, so
but
we do it.
we do one
Yeah.
egg a piece in the morning. But so one egg with some cheese, some uh, essentially what green onion with scallions, right? Scallions. Um, little salsa. So I cook one egg up, almost like an omelet, and then I flip it, and then I put everything in it, and two small turkey sausages about the size of my thumb, um, and two tacos. I mean, that one egg, it goes in. You're getting half an egg per taco. So these little breakfast tacos, they are. I gotta say, they are
Yeah, it was really good.
pretty damn good. So,
We got salsa over there, so we have plenty to.
yeah,
there.
the blue gaming troll, the melon looks nice. We had been out and really looking in the yard maybe 2 days ago. The melon
And it
was
was just a
small.
weird thing.
Now, I am very impressed, very surprised, and the cucumbers are getting close to being picked,
Yeah,
which
it's
is a
exciting.
wonderful thing. And when you make refrigerator pickles, and I call it refrigerator pickles because you're not canning them. They last in your refrigerator for 3 to 4 weeks, but assuming they last that long because you should be eating them. But I've made refrigerated pickles from fresh cucumbers, and I've made them from store cucumbers, and there's no comparison. I like the ones from the store pickles, but I can't eat them all. They tend to go like, oh, I gotta throw these out. And the fresh ones are amazing. So we'll be having some fresh,
Yeah.
some of the fresh pickle stuff.
Or have them in salad too.
Yeah, that too. Climbing the mountain. The yellow watermelon is the best, but it's not as popular, I guess. I
don't think I've ever
that.
seen a yellow.
I've never seen yellow ones. Not that I. Usually, when you go to the supermarket, you have one choice of watermelon. They don't have multiple watermelons,
Right.
But maybe at some of the more foo-foo, the higher end
Yeah.
markets will have options. 10 Cars Tavern spaghetti squash. We're not growing spaghetti squash this year. I've grown it in the past.
Oh, you have?
I have. Have I made spaghetti squash for you?
No.
All right, I probably should. I used to make spaghetti squash. And spaghetti squash is weird because when like you like, how do you cook squash? You can bake squash in the oven, but usually with spaghetti squash, what I would do is I would cut it in half, put it and have a larger pot of water boiling, about halfway full. And once the water was almost boiling, just about to boil, I would put the squash in, cut side down, and then let the water boil, let it cook for a bit. It was always you got to fork, you got to fork your spaghetti squash to pull it up and then see if the strands have gotten soft yet. To like a spaghetti like.
Yeah, I've never had that before.
Don, I like refrigerated pickles. Yeah, because fresh pickles are spot on awesome, right? I mean that's really where it comes down to. And again, our cucumbers, I counted I think 8 today, of which I could have comfortably harvested 4. And the other problem with growing cucumbers is you don't want them to grow so big that they start turning yellow.
Right, with that they lose their color.
Yeah, once you start using Tom, the Japanese cube-shaped watermelon tastes terrible. I've seen them on TV
What
or
is it?
cube. They're like a square shape.
Oh no, I never saw that.
Yeah. Hector Martinez has a question, and we could probably start maybe addressing some of this stuff now. But what do you do when you get anxiety attacks because of PTSD and you can't really focus, or don't have the energy or initiative to read? Rach, this is your
Yeah. I'll tell you what I do. I've had anxiety, for different things. Um, Sometimes related to things that happened in my life, but never have I met like criteria for PTSD. But what it makes me think of is meditation. Like I know a lot of times people will say meditation. Well, how the hell do you do that when you're like when your mind's racing a mile a minute?
well, that's the whole point.
But that's the whole point. It's like as you start to focus on your breath, you start to be able to have the thoughts slow. So like as you start to just focus on your breath and what I do is sort of like look at, certain thoughts will come into your mind. And it's like, do I need to handle that now? Sort of thing. It's like usually not. Usually it's, you know, that's a distraction. And then just bring my attention back to the breath so that this way I can move through that discomfort. And then, because those thoughts are always going to be there, they're always going to, there's always a chance for them to be able to come back. So I definitely do use a lot of meditation to help. Another thing that is good to do, especially because there's a trauma element going on for you. That you have the PTSD and everything. A lot of times, as we start to get anxious, that's because something is in the environment that is like giving that reminder, and so it calls forth those type of feelings, and you're taking yourself. It takes you out of sort of like a rest and digest. So if you can start to get to a place of being able to meditate or just slow your thoughts down, you can start to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system, where if you're constantly living in the panic mode, you can really damage yourself. Like our bodies emit certain chemicals that we were never meant to be exposed to full time. We were just made to be exposed to those body chemicals for a short time to get ourselves safe. So something that can help us get to like a safer feeling, actually, usually first is like, okay, is there something that's sort of tripping this off? What is it? Can I control for it? Can I remove myself from the situation? And helping yourself get to a safe place, a safe room, so that this way you could, be able to sit back. And there's this technique called 5-4-3-2-1 that can be really helpful when you're anxious, and especially with trauma, so that this way you don't find yourself going into a full flashback. So the 5-4-3-2-1 thing is basically you call it the first. You want to go 5. You're gonna think of 5 things in the room that you see, and if you have someone with you, you can say them out loud to that person or to yourself if you're like alone. 4 things that you hear, 3 things that actually 4 things you can touch, 3 things that you hear, 2 things that you smell, and then you could do one being one thing that you're thankful for, or something to call up
Positive thoughts.
positive, yes, like life affirming emotions, things like gratitude, love, caring, compassion, things like that for your number one. And I can put that. Can we put it in the
show notes?
In the show notes,
yeah,
like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique.
Yeah. I can add stuff to the show notes. So I got a feeling we'll be adding some stuff to tonight's show notes to make things easy for people to reference.
Yeah, and these things that they take practice. Like you'll try it once, you'll be like, oh fuck that bitch,
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
But no, it does. It takes practice, and that's the reason why, like with meditation and like any kind of coping techniques that you learn in therapy, it's constantly practicing. Like your therapist, or if you have one, might do this with you. Like for example, I used to teach a lot of my clients coping skills to manage things like depression, anxiety, like you have with the trauma. And then, let's practice it, and, will you practice at home, and you try to help the person be able to have it ready to go, so that in that situation, they're not like, oh my God, a couple of months ago, the lady said, I need to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was it again? This way they're sort of in your physical memory, and you can be able to practice them at a moment's notice, and it's interesting. You learn a lot about yourself, and a lot about you get a lot of insights, and a lot of times positive insights from doing these things.
And listen, I'm going to go over a few things that people like Don says: an ice pack on the back of the neck, and slow counting with eyes closed works for some.
Yeah,
it's a distraction.
Yes.
It's breaking you away from those thoughts.
You know what it is? The ice, like, and a lot of people do this too, like with the cold water. They'll wash their hands in very cold water. They'll take an ice cold shower. Things like that. It pulls you back into your body, because you're feeling, you're able to feel again. A lot of times with trauma, we tend to have a lot of numbing happening, and a lot of depersonalization, and almost questioning sometimes whether certain things are real. So when you have things that are tangible, like ice cubes, or that cold water in the sink, those kinds of things help draw us back into our body, so that this way we're able to be more focused and take our mind away from that certain thing, and realize I'm not in that old situation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned things about myself in retirement, and I learned that as an active police officer, there's a lot of trauma from 9/11 and incidents where kids were lost for one reason or another, that I thought I had dealt with. That here I am 8 years after retirement, and it's still not fully resolved, and it will sneak up on you when you don't expect it. Now, I've never been diagnosed with PTSD, and I'm not equipped to even self-diagnose it. But I do know that with myself, I can find myself getting, worked up, teary-eyed over something that I'm watching on TV, or on a video on the TV, or on a commercial, and I'm like, why is it striking me? And I got to step back out of it.
Right. Part of your trauma sometimes is like, we might hear about a police shooting, and
yes,
he experienced the survivor guilt.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, okay, let me brace. I'm usually going, okay, let me brace myself for this, because like what'll start happening is like, he'll play back everybody's radio
Ah,
communications.
if
Um,
sometimes that's what you hear.
yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah, you do
on
realize
his site, it's like a
the
police board,
yeah, it's a police forum.
and they'll like put the radio transmissions
Some of
of
yeah,
every
not
nitty
ever.
gritty detail
Oh
of
yeah,
what happens during a police involved shooting, and um you
yeah,
know, yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot, it's a lot, so
Yeah.
you know,
So I
like that you get very glued to, and it's hard to pull you back out.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna catch up on some of
Yeah, yeah.
the chat real quick. Um, TXG, I've embraced stoicism. That's really helped me with anxiety and depression.
Hmm.
Hector, my positive thoughts on my daughter, my fiance, and my older sister.
Oh, how cool. There's
Um,
good people in your life.
yeah. Tom, Wizard Tower Games, you've gone through a lot of ice in the last 3 years, haven't you?
Mm.
I'm not depressed. I'm seasoned. TXG, I say a mantra every morning. I am in control. I am in control of only my thoughts and actions. I will meet people today that are inconsiderate and demanding. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I will embrace moderation. I say this 3 times.
Nice.
Hector, I understand, but mine is military, and
Okay.
I listen. I can understand that very well, and I am not military. I what paramilitary, law enforcement. But my trauma, so much as it is, goes back to the late '90s, early aughts. You know, it isn't. It isn't. I retired in 2016, but I probably spent the last 15 years of my career not dealing with emotional trauma because you put that stuff off. You had to do it in your job.
Oh, sure.
I had to do it in
Until
my
you
job.
came home.
And maybe
Yeah.
not, maybe even not then. You know, if you lost a 6-year-old because they OD'd on cough syrup that grandma could not read the proper dosing on, and the kid had a cardiac arrest at
Yeah.
6 years, and you were at the hospital as the kid was pronounced, you carry that, and you don't even realize you're carrying it. And there's a lot of trauma that is a 9/11. I mean, thank God I get together with my gaming group every year in the spring, late spring, early summer, to remember a friend of ours,
Yeah.
a member of our group that we lost on 9/11, because everybody in my gaming group was there for 9/11. It was either me responding or everybody else worked in building 1, building 2, building 7, local hospital. Everybody was down there. Everybody experienced trauma around it. So being able to spend time and talk with people who have had similar experiences, nobody will have your experience. Nobody has your perspective.
Right.
Even of the same incident, and that's okay.
Right. We're each unique.
That's okay.
You know, and something interesting too, like something that's very unique to like military and paramilitary. It's often not safe. You often don't feel safe to explain that you are traumatized by certain things that have happened, that you've seen, especially in front of peers and things like that. Like I had one of my friends. She came home from Iraq, and of course, like the military, they try. They
yeah.
put you through all these questionnaires and try to understand if you've had trauma. But then like so many people just are like, no, I just want to go back in my life, and so they just really push it away, and like they don't get what they need often when they need it, and so much actually gets to fester before they get help, if they get
right.
some
Well,
kind of help.
a lot of it is if you deal with it at the time, then you aren't able to deal with everything else that is going on at that time. If I dealt with the child dying at that time,
Right, of course.
So
I mean,
I'm sure. And the thing is, though, once you put it aside, once you've taken it and you've hidden it away in that little closet, that little crawl space in your head, it's just waiting to come out, like part of the
right.
bad,
And once it's in there, you're not really willing to disrupt it
right.
either. You're like, that's been compartmentalized
Yeah,
already. Yeah.
I mean, I knew I had that ability to
Compartmentalize.
compartmentalize. Thank you, Rach. As a rookie, when my training sergeant was killed, and I had to do the honor guard, and I realized that I got to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to make that family proud. And instead, and also looking at your training sergeant slash, be honest, drinking partner and friend,
Yeah.
and you're able to separate. Well, guess what? Yeah, that sounds good until you're going to other funerals, and every time you see fits. So it works at that time. But now in my retirement, I've learned that that's a skill or a talent or an ability that I is no longer beneficial to keeping me.
Right. There's certain skills that you learn to get through certain situations in your life, whether it's military service, police work. I mean, I'm a social worker, so of course, there was vicarious traumatization there from just seeing so many people who had such traumatic lives, and then childhood trauma and things like that. But it's never it never feels like it's the right time to address it. But like when we are in these situations, like I feel like there's definitely more of an outlet for like a social worker, because we know what's available to us, and
right,
we know like, okay, the rules of getting the rules of like how you get help, and you'd want to get help so that you could be able to be useful to be able to continue helping other people,
right,
and like that. But yeah, like you definitely learn different skills, like even people that I used to see that had very long periods of incarceration, like there were certain skills that each person has to learn to be able to make it through a traumatic environment.
Right. And certain careers just have more traumatic environments.
And then being able to realize, oh, that worked when I was doing police work. It doesn't work right now.
Right.
Because I'm not in that situation anymore.
I'm blaming this on allergies.
Okay.
I got a cold just like the president. Sorry.
Oh no.
What? I'm gonna catch up on some of the comments. Zach, Monsieur Diesel, I love this show. You guys are a kick-ass couple.
Thank you.
Only when Rach isn't kicking my ass, and she can't right now because her knee is all fucked up. If her knee wasn't fucked up,
I'd have to use.
You'd have to use one of my fighting canes, Rach.
Yeah, man, or just. I'll have to stand on my good leg and whip you with my
bad leg. I could dodge out of the way. Listen. I'm lucky if I have an agility or dexterity of 9 in D&D, but I could get away from the crippled leg of Rach. I'm sorry. I think I could avoid that kick. Tom, I just attended a 6-week-old being taken off life support. Oh, jeez. Tammy's cousin, and they were unchurched. So as an elder of our church, it means less than you think, I showed up and did the clergy thing. And then I took a day and vegged out. And you need to sometimes.
Yes.
Listen, nobody knows. Assuming, and this is, I am not a professional, don't try this at home. But assuming that you are someone who's willing to look at yourself, not just physically, but your own mental health your own spiritual health, and you're able to look at yourself with open eyes, you will often find the signs of, oh yeah, you know what? I just need a day in front of YouTube watching Bugs Bunny cartoons or something like that.
Right.
You know when you need that veg out time.
Yeah, there's like a period of like restoration that we need, after these things happen.
Yes. Tom, Zach, amen. Preach that right there, dude. Rachel and Eric are awesome. Hey, you're making me ultra clamped. Yeah, I'm gonna get ultra clamped. Can you imagine if we didn't have Eric and Rach and it was the responsibility of Voldemort to care for the OSR? Oh, jeez.
I think we wouldn't have an OSR anymore.
You wouldn't. What? Mm-hmm. You got a question?
It would be carnage in the OSR.
You got a question? Your band. I've got bands for everybody. Sorry. Tom, I was not able to keep it together, and frankly, I cried in the hospital. We're so grateful someone showed up for the parent. It's rough. It ain't easy, but you're doing it for others, right? Yeah. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. God bless you for it.
Right, that someone didn't have to be alone with them.
Yep, Phantom Jen. For my work, we have a medical on the plane. We just passed the person to the paramedics. We never find out when we have a medical on a plane, we just pass the person to the paramedics. We never find out what happened or the outcome. It was hard to let go, but like Eric said. Yeah. And honestly, the only reason why with the 6-year-old that we knew what happened is we had first off, it became initially we were almost going to get into a physical fight with FD because my partner that night was an EMT as her side gig, and she knew what was going on. Oh. And FDNY only recently started showing up to ambulance cases to stop the clock, and they were taking it would have gotten bad, but thankfully EMS, even though they're part of FDNY, showed up. They took the kid. We did the escort. We had lights shut down from I guess the East Bronx to the West Bronx in the South Bronx. So we were going from Hunts Point to Lincoln Hospital. Mm-hmm. And as we were there, and we were told by our boss, our sergeant, you're not leaving until you know what the status is of that child. Well, I heard the status call, and then I had to go back and make my report, and I was shot. And then you got to, bottle it up, and then you got to continue for your next 4 hours answering jobs like that. Shit just didn't happen. Yeah. And it ain't easy. And yes, you have it sneak up on you later. This one snuck up on you later. So we're going to dive into the main topic of tonight. But when it snuck up on me, it was on Christmas Day, 2003. I was on patrol in the 26th precinct, got a call for an unconscious child in housing, infant. And I raced over there with my driver and the sector car that was responding. And it's on like the 18th floor, and we're waiting for the elevator. And foster grandma comes out of the elevator to actually meet us. And this black child, this black baby, was purple. Oh, purple. Bluish purple. It's a disturbing color to see. Right. No sound, no nothing. And my Christmas miracle was she saw that gold shield, that gold tin on my chest, and didn't want this child dying in her arms. So from about 5 feet away, she lunged at me with the child to basically half pass, half throw this kid. And what she wound up doing was the kid impacted my chest so hard.
It was sort of like a little Heimlich maneuver.
It was a huge Heimlich maneuver because I was covered in puke straight down my back. And this is happening, EMS is coming in, and all you hear is the kid and cry.
That's the best sound you can hear sometimes.
Oh my!
Mm-hmm.
I passed the child off to EMS,
Yeah.
and I get grandma on and into the ambulance, and I'm with my driver, Carrie Ann, and Carrie Ann's like, "Sorry, your tears were pouring down my eyes." She's like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "I don't even know it." And at first I didn't, and then I realized it was my cosmic scales balancing.
Mm.
It was a huge revelation into myself, which I've carried for the last 20 years because it told me that I could bury stuff for years and not think about it. And that shit's gonna come back at some point when you least expect it. And thankfully it came back at a time that was okay. But you don't want that coming up in the middle of something else. So
Right.
in any case, I'm gonna catch up to the comments, but as I do, I'm gonna put something up on the screen. So not to get you all excited because you shouldn't get spoiled.
Yeah.
But we actually like got things ready for tonight.
Oh yeah.
You know. So wait, did I make it big? Did I make it big? And did that's as in big and as it gets.
Oh, can you put it over there too?
I can actually. Hold on a second. I just gotta find it, Rachie. I gotta find it. All right, hold on. I can embiggen it if you want.
Yeah,
me to.
yeah.
You want it embiggened?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to embiggen it. I'm digging it. Tell me when does he live in a car? Tell me when does he live in a bar? Tell me, this is
I think so. I think that's good.
okay. So we're gonna get to that in a second. It's up on the screen in a second, but I'm gonna try to catch up in the comments because if I don't catch up on the comments,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
what could happen?
We'll never catch up, and someone's voice won't be heard, and that would suck.
Right. Tom, my brother was a combat infantry medic, and one night we had a long talk where he just needed to unburden after mass casualty. Oh, I can believe that. Depression as well as anxiety can lead to desperation, which can make things even worse. Yep. His way to put things into place was to go to a picnic in church with one of the soldiers he had taken care of. And it hurts more when it was a child.
Yeah.
Thank God you did that. Yes. Wow. Yep. Again, I take the miracles as God gives them to me. You don't tend to choose the miracles that God gives you. Jen, to give people a visual for breathing, smell the flowers, inhale, blow out the candles, exhale. That's, yeah.
I like that one.
Tom, I almost killed a kid on one of my ministry internships. They had given us some game to do with the kids, and it was who can eat a piece of slice of pizza the fastest.
Oh no!
And one kid started choking on it. Needless to say, I never did a speed eating contest for the rest of the summer.
Oh
no! Hector, thanks all.
Thank you for sharing.
Tom, you should email this to North Carolina. So, all right, Rach, we're caught up on the emails and such. Not the emails, the text, whatever, the comments. So, symptoms. Although depression may occur only once during your life, people typically have multiple episodes. So it's not like it's something that is wrong with you. If I had depression more than once. I had anxiety more than once.
Right. So some depressions can be, so people can battle this their whole life long, and put it into remission, and then it just as easily can come out of remission.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of factors that go into that. So, trying to, create a lifestyle that you feel is helpful to managing these symptoms, just like we change our lifestyle, or we try anyway. when we have medical issues happening for us. Um, Depression is sort of like a continuum, like a spectrum. Like the whole DSM-5 is a big spectrum. Each mental health issue that they talk about, it can be very mild to very severe. Um, and so like your if you notice that you have some of these symptoms, um, you know, you could be going through uh, like we had a person reach out to us last week. I'm sorry. We had someone reach out to us last week, talking about like depression and how like some of the goings on in this community, not our community, but like
The gaming community.
the wider community, was causing him to feel depressed. So, there are situational depressions. There are people that, struggle with this like all the time. And I think we each probably know somebody who does struggle with this a lot in their life.
Diagnosed or undiagnosed.
Right.
So, symptoms occur most of the day, nearly every day, and may include, I guess,
and usually they persist for longer than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I will read, and Rach will give you the. I'm going to do the. I will do the readings and
like I need to add on, I'll do.
Okay, there. It's like so. Tom said he got kicked out of seminary and went into clinical depression. Spent a week barely showing up for work and just playing video games. It was not fun.
Yeah, that's a major deal. Like so much of our identity goes with our profession, or when we're younger, or whatever it is that we're studying, and that can really trigger a huge.
And he was kicked out not for heresy or sin, but for bullshit religious politics. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So, symptoms may include feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness, angry outbursts, and irritability or frustration, even over small matters, loss of interest or pleasure in most or all normal activities, such as sex, hobbies, or sports. I thought I'd make it a little
okay.
It's like, shut up and move along.
Sleep disturbances, including insomnia or sleeping too much. So in this, you're looking for like extremes, and the same with appetite. I know that comes up somewhere.
Yeah. And wait, and it's a change. I think also it's a change of the usual pattern. Maybe you're somebody who historically you always got your 8 hours of sleep, but now you're sleeping 10 or 11. Or maybe you always only sleep 6 hours, but now you're not getting any sleep.
Right, and some of these things too, like you want to make sure that they are not due to any sort of underlying medical issue that can bring fatigue or depression. Like I have Hashimoto's disease, and some people do experience depression behind that, and then other people just experience like the fatigue, or some mix of it.
All right, looks like somebody is trying to. I can't get them. Oh, it's because it's on Twitch. Never mind. They're putting up a website. Ignore it. Tom, an angry outburst got me fired from a really good job, so it can affect you.
Yes.
Shadow, 10 or 11 hours of sleep. I think I died and went to heaven. That was after COVID. After the first bout of COVID. Yeah, Don, I know it's spam, but it's in the Reddit, so it'll only show up if I show it. So since nobody really watches the Reddit, maybe I'll just stop sharing the Reddit from now on.
Is it that kind of spam? That's like sort of personal, or is it that spam that's just like
no,
look at my website.
It's like look at my website. So I'm assuming it's not a good website. So
and naughty website.
I'm assuming,
Oh,
although the person used Korean characters in their handle.
oh,
I don't read Korean, but I recognize Korean being a New Yorker. So, tiredness and lack. Well, actually, I gotta move it up.
That
Hold
could
on.
be a referral for DJ.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, tiredness and a lack of energy. So even small tasks take extra effort. Reduced appetite or weight loss. That's right, and weight loss or increased cravings for food and weight gain. Anxiety, agitation, or restlessness. Slowed thinking, and it doesn't mean like just because you think that you're having trouble comprehending something is not slow thinking. Your mind is going in slow motion, or you feel like things are going in slow motion.
So I've seen people who have this. So it's like, yeah, slow thinking, speaking or body movements, and so they call it psychomotor retardation. And basically, what it means is like, you might have like a young person who's experiencing depression, and like you call them from the waiting room, and it takes them very long to move around. It takes a long time for them to explain what their problem is, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feelings of worthlessness or guilt, fixating on past failures or self blame. Trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions, and remembering things. You can't always blame it on old age. I do try. Um, I gotta move. I gotta move the. I gotta move our clip there to one ahead. Frequent or recurring thoughts of death, suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts, or actual suicide.
Right. And so to have depression, you don't have to have um, all of these symptoms ticked. They You can have different clusters of these symptoms. So yeah, like when you come in often for help, and in a lot of medical settings now, they administer what's called a PHQ-9, which is basically a questionnaire where they ask you about your behavior and what you see in yourself related to these symptoms and how often you're bothered by them. And then they come up with a score, which basically, helps them to make a more pinpoint diagnosis, and also like not just from the questionnaire, but from interviewing you and getting to know your history and current situation.
Right.
So
in the last sign that they listed, this is from the Mayo Clinic. Unexplained physical problems such as back pain and headaches.
well, yeah, it was interesting on there. They also had something about for older people.
Oh yeah.
How it could be that you lose interest in being social. You a lot of similar ones, but there was the interesting addition of the aches and pains that are physiological, but they might not be physical in basis. They might be psychogenic or emotionally based.
So Tom, my one joy during depression was getting cream spinach and sweet potato sides from the Boston Chicken next to my apartment. It was I'm very food motivated. Boston Chicken did have good sides. Boston Market, I think, is what they call it now.
Yeah. Is it still going?
I don't know. At least the one on Queens Boulevard. We'd have to check. I'm sure it's like $90 for a meal. Shadow and Son. What? Watch me. I blame everything on my old age. Don, depression is insidious. Yeah. Many people suffer and blame it on other things. Yes.
Right. It's a sneaky thing. And that's why like in terms of treatment, like None of it, just because you have depression, not everybody needs medication. Some people do, just to be able to establish like a stable floor. Some people benefit from just therapy. Some people benefit from medication and therapy. And then as it gets, if it gets to be more intractable, other types of interventions. But it's a very sneaky disease that can really mess with you, and your whole self concept. Like to the point where, like, a lot of times people will say, oh, I feel like a burden on other people, and they'll have thoughts of suicide because of that, and they'll be able to list many reasons why they feel like they should not be living anymore, and believe them wholeheartedly, but it'll be based on a temporary feeling. So helping people move through that feeling,
based on bum data that you yourself collecting. Exactly. Tom, that depression ended a 4-year relationship at that time. Shadow, in these trying times, I could see this being a very common thing. I think you're going to see there's a 4-year cycle to a lot of this.
Huh.
I personally think that a lot of this follows presidential election cycles in the days of social media.
Huh.
Because people find themselves much more invested in stuff that possibly you wouldn't have been as invested in before. All right, how do I remove this?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, okay, that didn't do it. Oh, I gotta move my. Maybe I just do this. No, maybe I just do that.
There you
go. I wiped this shit. I wiped this slate clean. Tom, I'm thinking about all the details my dad relayed about my mother's adopted grandfather, and I'm wondering if he was depressed.
Okay,
he was kind of the poster child for a lot of those symptoms you just related.
Yeah, there's a lot of there can be a huge biological component.
Yeah.
And environmental as well.
Yep. Shadow, I know there's a lot of truth to that 4-year cycle thing. Yeah, no, I've noticed it, and I'll be honest with you. It got worse in 2016, but at the same time, like 2012 and 2008, when I was working, right, you would talk politics, but the social media, nobody was going to Facebook really to talk about it. By the time 2016 rolled around, everything was social media. Everything was Twitter. Everything was Facebook. And everything, these are all echo chambers, and we could do a whole episode on that. But social media is made to be an echo chamber where it reflects back what you want to hear, and since you can self-sort it, a lot of times you'll just go, I don't want to hear the naysayers, and you'll just reinforce your own beliefs, right or wrong. And I'm not here to judge anybody's beliefs about anything. I'm just saying that we don't like to hear people say that we're wrong. Yes, Rach, you're going to say something.
And here, do you have the 988 stuff or?
No, but I can put that up on.
Yeah.
Well,
so there are it's like if you think about it, when do you seek help and when do you start to address this?
The suicide hotline number is up on the screen, but there's also a 988 number if you're in the States.
Right, in the States, and they you can use via text. I think you can chat on their website, and then you can also call 988. And interestingly, that situation has people who specialize with veterans, people who specialize. There's counselors that specialize with the LGBTQ population. They're Spanish speaking, and then there's just like you can be connected a little more locally. So yeah, and you can use that in from your text. There's more ways to be able to access it, which is a great thing. And then I thought the specializations were really cool. like with for folks that are veterans and LGBTQ and stuff like that.
So, David Thompson, hello from the other side of the pond.
Hello.
The parasocial audience is, you guys are late, Mr. Gunn. Well, did somebody give you?
They came right in time.
You came right in time for us to say good night. Now, folks, as I go through the final comments, next week, and there's 19 people watching this live right now, and I'm going to add this as a pinned comment. Next week, Gamers Health is going to be Sunday night. Sunday night. It is the July 4th party weekend, and I cannot guarantee that we'll be home in time for Saturday night Gamers Health, but and this is because of you all in the chat, because of the amazing response that we get from you all, we have a responsibility to do this, and we're going to do next week. But by the way, when this episode is over, log into the video, and if you have topics you want covered in a future video,
please let us know.
Add it with a comment.
This was a requested topic, and
yes,
we're happy to do those things.
We like to do requests because we know that we're doing it for someone or multiple people. If one person's asking for it, then there's a number of people who want it but haven't asked for it. Okay, that's that unwritten rule, right? Yeah. So, let's see. Oh my God, Mr. Gunn, social media is the devil. Tom, is there a suicide hotline for North Carolina? It's on the screen.
He can call the 988 too.
Yeah, 988 or 1-800-273-8255, and just say, hey.
He can even claim his veteran status there.
Oh yeah. David Thompson, I've had depression since my parents split around 1970.
Oh my God.
Wasn't diagnosed until my 40s. UK mental health report in the UK is dire at best.
Aww.
And the parasocial, I don't post on social media except for YouTube. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't either. And I only say but generally. Yeah. Only nice things.
Only sweet things, Mr. Gunn. I do the YouTube.
Unless it's a certain.
And one Patreon. The parasocial, it legitimately improves my mood to be off media. I cannot listen. I know people who spend their whole day on Twitter or X. I do not. I know people spend their whole day on Facebook. I use it to get links out for this channel. And I may participate in a gaming thread here or there. And I do think that overall, if you're going to participate in social media like Facebook, and you want to avoid you're not going to avoid all the noise. Most of the noise, choose the communities you join sparingly, carefully, and find ones that are apolitical or totally non-political. Just whatever hobbies and interests you have, that can certainly help you when it comes to social media anxiety, which is there's a lot of topics we can address, folks. And remember, I'm not just a client on the no, that's the Hair Club for Men. I am
also the president.
I am not a professional, but like all of you, I have lived a life. I have succeeded. I have failed. I have done well. I have done shitty. I've had good health and bad, and I have no shame, no issues talking about that, and literally exposing myself, making myself potentially vulnerable to assholes, but talking about the truth. And Rach is very great at this because not only is she similar to me in that attitude, but she can bring a more professional, learned aspect to it. I bring the aspect of a street mechanic, Like law,
Oh, okay.
law enforcement. You learn a little bit of
Yes.
everything. I'm a jack of all trades,
Yes.
master of none. I learned how to motivate people. But Rach is the one that really makes this show shine, and I
Thank
really mean
you.
that. Mr. Gunn, you're eating. You skip? You know what? You can skip the dinner. You should have made it for me. But you can otherwise. I know you're on the West Coast. I know you couldn't probably. Uh, Mongolian beef. Oh,
Yum.
yes, July 4th. So July 6th, we should be at a party out on the Long Island.
Out on the island.
Out on the island with you and me. Um, wow. I don't know if I can get to all these comments. UK will be doing their election day on the 4th.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to poke Mr. Gunn. I wanted to poke my head in the door and say good evening. I am a fan of Rach, as am I.
Thank you.
As am I. I didn't even like blondes until I met this woman. I was like, blondes, get out of here. Who wants a blonde? I'm slowly turning blonde. I mean, gray, but I'm not quite there yet. Yeah, 988.
Yeah.
It improves my mood to trim trees and improve the yard. Just saying. All right.
Yeah, us too.
Physical labor can certainly change your mind. Taking a walk.
Oh yeah, physical exercise. That's
Yeah.
definitely a mood changer. And doing it with other people can also too.
Yeah. Does it, Tom? Perhaps you hate plants and vegetation.
Uh-oh.
Parasocial. Yeah, I know you're West Coast, Mr. Gunn. That's why you're eating so late in the day. 9:15 here. You're eating. You eat now, but for you it's 6:15. So yeah, be in Alaska or Hawaii or one of those other wacky places. Tom, the dog does not like me. Does not like keeping me company while doing yard work.
No.
Mr. Gunn, I admire you being vulnerable as a sign of strength. I'm not. I'm not afraid. I am willing to show myself warts and all because I know what's beneath the warts and all, and I am proud of it.
Yeah, I was a baby.
So a little self confidence goes a long way. Tom, I've not been to the UK since the 80s. You need to take the wife there. Tom, the parasocial, if I had more money, I would pay somebody else to do it. Amen. No, I'm not West Coast. Oh, sorry. Mr. Gunn says, no, I am not West Coast. Should have added the. All right.
He's somewhere in the middle.
You have some, yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever. You know what? You're one of those. You remember those dolls? What do they call them, Rich? With the funny hair, little doll.
Troll?
But you're a good troll. You're
that
like
you wrote that you rubbed the hair.
Yeah, you rub the hair of the troll like you're gonna make a wish. You're one of those trolls. You're not like those East Coast trolls. You're. I'm just saying. Oh no, you are an East Coast troll. Oh god damn it! Now you ruined my whole theory.
Wow!
You just ate late today. What are you doing? Is intermittent fasting?
No, it's too late for that.
Well, it depends on what time you got up. Maybe you got up at like 3 p.m. I don't know. What do I know?
Okay.
All right. So remember, folks, next week, Sunday, 8 p.m. We have a responsibility. We're making sure we're going to be here for you. It's just going to be 24 hours later. You don't want us doing this at like noon in the afternoon.
No.
We're normally still sleeping. Not quite. That's a joke. I'm usually serving breakfast at noon.
Yeah.
But just saying. Mr. Gunn, intermittent laziness. Well, all right. I'll take that. Shadow, great show, guys, and as always, keep the good work. God bless.
Thank you.
Mr. Gunn, you live in North Carolina? My sympathies, my son. I hear it's actually a pretty good state, but you guys...
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, except for a certain location.
You guys are infested with the cancer. It's a cancer of the anus. It's cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's a joke. You either know it or you don't. It's just like, God help us. Hector, have a good one.
Take care.
All right, folks. We're out of here. God bless you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Again, next week, not Saturday, Sunday. God bless.